But I wanted to use that to kind of segue into this new conversation that we've discussed a couple of times is college. Is college worth it, Travis? Talk to me. Am I wasting my life or what?
Yes, you are.
No, I'm just playing. But like, for real, like,
No, I'm not playing it.
no, I'm not. Yeah.
No, I think if you're going into become an engineer or doctor, absolutely. I'm
Obviously.
actually was talking to a friend of mine just the other day. He's struggled with going from job to job and being unhappy, and he's got his master's degree and he's not making very much money, you
Right.
know. And he asked me, he was like, "Could you just you since you got a degree, you could just get a job at any ad agency, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I certainly could. I don't know if I'd be making probably be making less than I am now."
Right.
But I got to thinking about it. I was like, well, it's weird that you to get a job at an ad agency, they do require a
A
degree.
degree. Most of them, yeah.
But the funny thing is to start your own ad agency, you certainly don't need a degree.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody you go up to and you say
Hmm.
you show them a portfolio and you can sell yourself, they're not going to give
Oh, exactly.
a
It's about clientele and your work, your portfolio. You
yeah,
bring that
they
up.
don't care as long as you can sell yourself and give them a return on investment. And
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Is it's like, yeah, like we'll take trade jobs out of it. You come in, you learn, you like to get a doctor, to be a doctor, you need degrees and you need licenses on top of that to be able to do those things. Like those are
yeah,
requirements. But there's nobody that's telling me, Gage, you need this license or this degree to get this job. It's just me and I can connect to this person and then I get the job or, vice versa or whatever.
yeah,
So my question is, it's like, yeah, like creative wise, like, is it worth it? And I hear this like all the way up and down the chain, and it's like I have friends that are thinking about going to college, but they're like, I don't know if I want to go to college with that financial pressure and the stress when I have a really good job now. And I really don't even know how to reply. It's like I'm sitting here thinking, I think college, one thing I know for sure is college has made me more professional. I know how to email, and this is another question: is it worth it to learn this kind of minute information? But I know how to email professionally. Like, hey professor, comma, da 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 da, kindest regards, Gage. Like this is the simple stuff. But I did learn that. I learned how to be professional, how to act professional, how to be on time, and in our business, that's a big thing. When a client wants a video due with that date, college has those dates that you have to get your turned in like ASAP. And so I feel
I
like
think that comes with just maturity, though. I mean,
it could be maturity, but that's the thing. I don't know. I,
actually, I
you
wouldn't
know,
say college is completely waste of time or waste of money, but I would suggest to people that it's definitely okay if you don't get your degree.
right,
I mean,
exactly.
I look back on my college and I'm grateful I went and stuff, but I certainly the job I have now, I did not get that because I had a degree,
Exactly. And explain what did you get your degree in?
communications,
With it
with emphasis in advertising.
in advertising, right?
But I look back on my college. This is why I would say it's not a complete waste of time and money because when I look back on my college career, the pinnacle of my experience was NSAC,
Right.
the National Student Advertising Competition. That was such a great experience, and I couldn't have gotten that anywhere else because
Yeah, it's only college campus,
there's no
and
advertising competition anywhere
very true. And that's only certain colleges even do it too. So I mean, we definitely looked out.
where you have a national. I mean, yeah, you can go out, and I can talk about this later, but I mean, you can go out. Nothing stops you from going out and making some business an ad, right?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
NSAC, you kind of have you'll have a national sponsor, which is
Mm-hmm.
the company you're making an advertisement for, and you're working with a bunch of other people
And
and stuff. But
yeah, I was gonna say INSAC. I think is absolutely incredible. I took the same exact thing as you. INSAC. I took it. I think you graduated like 4 years before me. Or well, I'm gonna be graduating.
2016,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So a little bit before, but we were in the same program, and we took that same program too. I think we both had Rick as our our guy, right? He was
Yeah.
yeah. So we even had the same guy. Like we had pretty similar experiences. The only thing with me would be different is I'm getting my emphasis in video production as for advertising. Well, video production with emphasis in public relations. So
Mhm.
it's a little bit separate, but we literally are in the same program. So like when I'm asking this, it's like I'm asking the same exact question. I ask you the same exact question because it's like I literally in my heart feel like I could drop college right now and I will. The only negative thing that will hit off, especially out the bat, is the family's reaction, and the grandparents and college. You need to finish college, like you need to go to college, like this, blah 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 blah. But you have to question yourself. If I did drop college right now, would I be more or less successful with or without it? Maybe with it'd be something like I actually have my degree. That I have this little paper to wave around or whatever. But at the same time, like I have a business where I'm my own owner. Like I'm my own boss. You know what I'm saying? And I've always went and did ventures like this where we started Imperfect, the podcast, greatest podcast in the world, where we do all these great things. Like I venture out and I found you. I paid you out of my own pocket to shoot these high quality professional dance films. I went out and did the vlogs. I paid money to go to New York to shoot the dance video. Like I did all this on my own money and my own time. Nobody like the dance program at our college is great. It's phenomenal. But it's like they're teaching you technique. They're teaching you like those little bit of things that you can learn. But the majority, 95% of what was pushing my career at the time is because I, out of college, was chasing my dreams and reaching out to like agencies, or I was reaching out to gigs that need dancers or shows, and I was putting on shows. Like I was doing all that stuff on my own. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Mhm.
I still question. So it's like now I have on my own business. I'm starting, things like Imperfect along other projects, and I question, is it worth it? You know what I'm saying?
That's a good question.
It's
I mean,
a
I
lot
would,
of
I
information.
mean, I would never, I mean, I understand why you worry about what, your family thinks and stuff. You want to make them proud and stuff, but I mean, you got to think about you. I mean, you're thinking about all the money and the thousands of dollars you're spending, and are you getting anything out of it? You got to
Right.
ask yourself, well, am I going to get a return on this investment? And if you aren't, then you
Exactly.
just got to make the decision.
And
Just
I could sympathize it for you. Like right now, I'm 6 months, 7 months away from graduating. It'd be almost dumb to just stop now. But at the same, or I could stop and make a statement. You know what I'm saying? It could be like that statement or to represent my brand or whatever. But let's say it was 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Let's say I'm at where I'm at in life, where I got my own business, I got a podcast, I'm doing these things to sustain myself, and I'm reaching out and I'm, finding the successes, and I still have 2 years of college. Like, what would you tell me?
I don't know. I don't know your situation. I mean, if I was going to college because I really thought that I was gonna finish college because, well, it was easier for me because I had the military and I was using the GI Bill. I was practically getting paid to go to college
Oh, really?
with the GI Bill. So
Well, that's
why would you not
exciting.
do it, right?
Yeah.
And I was doing it because I thought, well, I do want to work for an ad agency. I had a kind of a short-lived dream of working at Ogilvy in
Oh,
Chicago.
heck yeah.
That didn't
Mm-hmm.
work out, and that's fine. But so yeah, it certainly needed a degree to do that. So that's why I finished, and it was an easy decision for me because, like I said, I was had the GI Bill.
Right.
But if I didn't have the GI Bill,
And you were paying out of your own
and
pocket.
yeah, I was paying out of my own pocket, and I had these other things that were going well, I'd be like, no,
You
I'm
probably
not
would have
gonna. I
stopped.
would have dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I know. I know every situation is different. It's like I'm just talking about me. It's like the same thing. Like if your son or daughter or someone grows up and it's like they want to be something in a creative field, like a musician. I feel like musician is a lot of technique and there's a lot of things you can learn like to do that, especially like when it comes to writing music and learning to read music and things like that. But it's like when it comes to like something like videography or dance, and they're like, if I don't have a kid, I know you have two, but if my child came to me and wanted, to do X, Y, Z, it's like, especially if I have the money at the time, would I be more willing to invest my own money in my daughter and be like, let me like rent you out a dance studio for 6 months or something like that, and let's see if you can, get some dancers in there, start training and build a dance studio, or would I be like, yeah, go to college for 4.5 years and get your dance degree and go from there. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah, if
like,
my kids wanted to go to college and they were just going into something like creatively or studying something where the pay's not good and you know you're going to work for somebody else, they're not going to pay you that well, and they're going to want to see that you have a degree. I'm not going to pay for their college.
right.
For
Very
waste
true.
that money. I'm like, and you can pay for your own college or get a scholarship.
Oh yeah, you gotta give the kids.
But I'm surprised when they talk about wanting college to be free. I think that's a stupid idea.
Well, it might be, but don't you think it should be a little bit cheaper?
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I agree too. Like I don't think it should.
yeah. I mean, I
I don't know.
definitely agree that it's certainly overpriced, but making it free
Yeah.
doesn't solve that problem.
No, it doesn't. I feel like you should pay out of pocket. It's just
It should be your investment, and shouldn't make other people pay for you to like
exactly.
drink and
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah, you're right. But it's like leaving college with 40 grand is a no-no. But going to college and leaving and not paying a dollar out of your own pocket is also a no-no. I feel like if we could just keep it around, like, of course, where you live and inflation and all that kind of stuff. But it's like here, like $4,000 a semester is a lot. I'm $8,000 every 9 months that I'm studying to do what I already do in the field. And don't get me wrong, there's so much to learn, and I never want to stop learning. That brings like another huge thing, especially for us videographers. I can honestly say I learned 98% of what I know about videography because of YouTube. YouTube has made it so incredibly easy to watch Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, Matty Apoya, like all those kind of people that are shooting film videos and just like watching their daily vlogs and seeing them in the film environment and watching them talk about lighting and all that stuff. Like a 10, 15, 20-minute video about lighting is a lot cheaper and a lot faster and quicker than, to go to college.
I mean, yeah, it's certainly watching, internet's certainly opened up a lot of things.
I think that's changed the field.
For education, but at the same time, there's also those people that just watch the YouTube videos and never do the doing.
Yeah.
So
but
I would
on
say
them, though,
I would say that 90% of what I've learned is from doing.
Well,
10% is from watching and learning. I didn't learn anything in college as far as videography goes.
Right.
Like the Marine Corps was really cool because they send you through this. I mean, that videography class was 3 or 4 months long. It was just a quick rundown of basic fundamentals, and then they threw you out the door. They threw you in the pool, and you had to learn how to swim.
Right.
Right. It was kind of like that. And so that was really cool. 'Cause, 3 months out of your life is not that big of a deal, and you learn what you need, and you put it to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wish that was what college was like in most fields, where it's they could just do this crash course, send you on your way, but they're not going to do that because they want to.
No, they want to extend it out, get more income.
They need you, to pay more and more.
It's like I sit there and I think full-time filmmaker, Peter Wahlbeck.
Mm-hmm.
He has that whole online school, incredible.
How much does that cost?
$400.
Yeah.
And he is, first of all, you watch his YouTube content, you're like, okay, this guy is awesome. His quality is amazing. And then like a friend has like he bought the whole thing or whatever. So I got to like log in and kind of peek at stuff, and holy crap, dude. Like it was just like every camera like you can go in, and he talks so in depth, and it's just so crisp and clear. And another thing that I love is he built like this community where if you have a question, you're asking other people that are also learning filmmaking and their opinion. So it's like you're almost in college talking to classmates.
Yeah.
So it's, you're kind of losing, the in-person thing, and you would have to, like you said, push yourself to get out and do it. But I mean, if you want to do something, like and you can do it for 90% cheaper, like you will do it. You'll stay home, you'll learn, you'll practice, and you'll get out in the field and do it, And
I think that's another problem with college is it kind of college trains you to, how do I want to say it? It kind of trains you in a sense. It trains you just that somebody will kind of do it for you.
Right. You kind of witness someone do it.
This is a check in the box. You just do these kind of simple steps, then you're going to get a job and you're going to get a good salary.
Right.
When that's not the case, I feel sorry for all those students that are just kind of going through the motions and they're not doing anything extra. You
Right.
got to get out and,
That's like.
like, if
Mm-hmm.
I was to give a speech in an advertising class, I'd be like, you guys got to go out. Nothing is stopping you from going out and making an ad,
Right.
trying to sell somebody something. Because that's
Right.
what it is. It's selling yourself.
Right. Right.
Even, I mean, and they're not worried. They
They.
just got to go out. Because what I did was, when I started college out of the Marine Corps, I had my little film business called TC Rolling Films. I
Right.
was making little side jobs and stuff. And
Exactly.
I heard about my family went to the Haunted Mansions of Albion.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there and I was just like fascinated with this place. I was like, I cannot believe there's an abandoned college campus out in the middle of nowhere that some entrepreneur turned into a haunted attraction.
Right.
And it was so inspiring, those buildings. I was like, I really want to make a horror film here. And so I called these people up, these owners, and was like, kind of sold them this idea of making kind of this movie trailer commercial for them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, they were all for it. And I started making, and that actually turned into my job now,
Right.
because the guy that owns the Haunted Mansions of Albion owns System Tech, and
That's where
and
you.
that's my parent company now.
Right.
And so, and the students going to college now, they don't do anything like that. They don't go out and meet people
Exactly.
and try to do things for them, and
Like you went out of your own way. You were you still in college at that point
yeah,
too?
I was in college.
You so literally, I think me and you have a lot of drive. Like that definitely clicked off the bat. Obviously, when we were making all those dance films and stuff. But the exact same thing is, I was in a dance place with 15 other dancers, and they did stuff like ish, like, and it was a lot related to like, the professors being like, oh, there's this thing if you want to perform at, and then they would perform at it. But it was me going out of my own way, like, oh, America's Got Talent's coming to Salt Lake City, like I'm gonna go try out, and I did. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, like I'm gonna make professional dance films to try to meet a wider audience, because dance here is not the biggest thing right now, unless you're like in LA or somewhere popping. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna make dance films and try to widen the audience. So it's like it's you going out and getting the work done. You know what I'm saying? I feel
Yeah,
like.
I mean, I couldn't have learned. College wasn't going to teach me how to sum up the courage to go out and talk to somebody and try to collaborate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or sell my talent.
Right. Exactly.
So and you learn so
Exactly.
much from doing that. And so many students don't do it because they just like, well,
Mm.
I'm in college, I'm going to get a job, it's not going to matter.
Exactly.
And
I think that's a lot of
they are
mindset.
selling themselves short, and that's
I
kind of
know.
why I think college kind of trains you to do that, because it takes not only so much of your time or money, it takes
So
up a
much of
lot
your
of your
time.
time, on just stuff that you're gonna brain dump, and it's not gonna
Exactly. Oh
matter.
yeah, the whole generals. I mean, 2 years of just like, like.
Or even I've heard things where even the things you learned for your field, you go out in the real world and they're
And
like,
it's
yeah, we
yeah.
don't do that.
Exactly. But that's the only thing that I like we talked about INSEC. That was pretty spot on. Like, especially when you
Yeah,
go around with ad agencies, and it's like it's weird because the one thing college do is the physical experiences like that. INSEC, where you actually go into agencies, talking to people, like how they do, real people that run real agents and big agencies, if that. And then on top of that, it's like internships. Like I got lucky enough to be an internship at my campus where I can like run like a lot of the video stuff from our social or our social medias and stuff like that, which is an awesome like thing to be able to learn. But I don't know, it's awesome, and I'm thankful for it, and I've learned a lot for it. But I don't know if it's still like super worth it.
yeah, you should probably do it again one more time. I did it twice,
Did what?
and I almost didn't do it the second time. NSAC,
Oh yeah.
and the first client was the Pizza Hut.
Right.
Was Pizza Hut, and then
And
the
then
second one's Snapple.
yeah, and the Snapple
And
was awesome.
ISU had never placed better than fourth in their districts in the whole history of the program,
Right.
and we won it that year on
That's
Snapple.
insanity.
And so, boy, was I glad I did it. And the commercials I made were a big part of the
Of that winning.
reason.
Oh yeah.
Um, and we didn't make it to nationals because we didn't put our videos or in submit them with our plans book.
Right.
And so they couldn't. The rule was after districts, the judges for the nationals can't see your commercials unless you've submitted them at the same time. So it wasn't
Right.
like, oh, well, this is what they look like. And so we didn't make it at nationals, and we thought that if they would have been able to see those commercials,
You probably could
because
have.
that was a big reason why we won districts,
Right.
because they read the scripts and looked at the storyboard. And
Mm.
but it was the best moment. One of the best moments of my life is presenting and the reaction that one of the commercials got. Totally, I didn't think it'd be that big.
Right.
The commercial was called Confessional,
Oh yeah, I love that one.
and and I remember when Rick, um, Rick pulled everybody in the, because you have 15 minutes to kind of prep before the competition starts, like to figure out the space and
Right.
things like that. Check your sound, right? And so he's telling us, okay, when we play our commercials, you guys have to laugh because laughing is contagious. So make sure you laugh, so everybody else will kind of laugh.
Start laughing. Yeah.
And I thought, well, I understood why he was saying that because it's strategic, right?
Right.
But I was like, man, I'm not going to do that. But it turns out when we played our commercial, certainly didn't have to fake anything because
They loved it.
everybody burst out in laughter. And I think that was had a huge impact on the judges because people in that room were the target audience for the ad campaign.
Right.
And
that helps.
That was their reaction. They just hysterically bust out laughing.
That's insane. Like they actually all busted up laughing, and
I didn't think it was. I got lucky because I didn't write it to be that funny. You know, I thought it was a knee slapper, right? But I didn't think, man, it was just so cool.
That's cool.
Not very many times will that ever happen in your life where, because filmmaking's really, really hard.
Oh man, and that set that we were dealing with was
I
ridiculous.
mean, you can make a good video, but the chances of you making something that has a really big impact, and I guess I would say become a classic that people watch over and over, and
yeah.
I mean, it just isn't.
It's always
You'll make 100 videos, and if one turns out to be
like that
really special, then you've done really well.
Oh yeah, totally agree. And I think that's definitely what happened. Like that commercial just pulled together really well, and it sucks because I was still in the dance program at the time, and I didn't understand anything you were doing. Just a text like, "Hey, we need this guy to be on a bike," and I was like, "Sure."
You were in one of them.
I was in one of them. I was your actor.
Party.
Yeah, exactly, and it was awesome. You know, and that was just like one of those first things when you pull up. You had all the Snapple. This guy made a beat out of the Snapple, the cap, which was just sounded so amazing. Like everything was just so unique that like. Even though, like, of course, didn't even know film, especially at that time, I just walked up and felt, like, super positive. Just seeing the environment, seeing how you put the Snapple bottles hung up, which was just, like, the small little nitpicky things. I was like, this is pretty dope. I really like this a lot, you know?
That turned out really well. That was a good year.
That was a good year. That was a good time.
So you should certainly do. If you're going to stay in college, you've got to do that again. You might as well.
I know. I love my professor. Like the new professor, Rick's awesome too, but this new professor is just incredible. Like we click really well. She's my professor right now from one of my classes, but she is just an advertising god, man. She knows what she's doing and she's super cool. She's young. She's super awesome, and it sucks because I already decided not to.
Well, you can change your mind.
I could, but the thing is I'm not part of the club, and they really want you to be a part of the club before you join the class and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, they want you to, but...
Right, but the biggest thing is it's like I'm already taking 18 credits for my last semester, so yeah, it's going to be a busy semester. And one of them's with this professor, and I specifically did that because she's so awesome. But if I would have known she was a professor, probably would have. Like, I feel like there's a lot of knowledge, you know. But either way, like, it's a great club. I definitely recommend it to anybody that's gonna, if they do go to college, they definitely take INSAC. It's all over the United States, so wherever you are, and if you're ever interested in filmmaking, marketing, public relations, copyright, photography, video, like so many things. If you're interested in any of that stuff, ask your college if they have INSAC. It's absolutely phenomenal. What?
In talking about creativity, another issue about college students is that another the fact that they don't get out and they don't meet people, and they don't do things,
Right.
that really makes it hard to be creative
Right.
if you haven't been places and done things and kind of have an understanding of how people think and cultures and stuff.
Yeah, you got to jump into the
That's what
business.
mission gave me. That's what the Marine Corps gave me. I've been places, done things, and so when I came to college, it was like I had a step ahead because I was mature and I'd been places, right?
Right.
And made mistakes and had challenges and stuff. And that helps your creativity. That opens your mind. You got to have an open mind to be creative.
Yeah, very much so.